I have one thing to say. You better work.
We are back with On Air with Tony Sweet, only on Universal Broadcasting Network.
Okay, we're back, and we have in studio
a hottie.
A hottie patati. Look at him looking around.
Wait, he said,
looking around. Former supermodel himself, an actor. We have the one and only author, world-renowned psychic, and just all around, I can tell, amazing guy. We have Vincent Genna.
Yay.
Love it, how beautiful.
I got it wrong earlier.
Sweet. That is beautiful.
And we, of course, we have the wonderful Jennifer Gimenez with us co-hosting today, and Deidre's sitting over here next to me. Yeah. All right, so Vincent, thank you so much for flying all the way in just to see us.
Anytime, Tony. You know, as soon as they mention your name, I'm on the next.
You know,
plane.
people think Oprah. Now it's becoming Tony.
It's
about time.
Yeah.
20. It's Tony. It's sweet. It's
Tony
sweet.
Sweet. Yeah. You've made it. You've made it to the big time.
That's right.
So first of all, you know, normally on Fridays, my co-host Eddie Connor he's a psychic also, and so he's out of town right now. So I'm used to being around psychics all the time, and I love it. Love it, even though Eddie doesn't give me readings.
Because you have that in-tuneness too that we were talking about.
Well, I didn't know that I was an empath. I didn't even know what the hell that was. But so for people that just tuning in, no. I'm sorry.
Can you explain to us people?
I'm sorry. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, first I want to explain, because a lot of people don't know that there's psychics, there's mediums, and then there's empaths, and there's all kinds of little sayings for everything. Right. But what are you, a psychic, medium, psychic, or medium? What are you?
Well, I know, really. I keep asking the same thing, and so does my wife all the time. What are you?
Right.
Well, it's based on the work that I do and the messages that I give. Mm-hmm. I use both my mediumship abilities, so I see dead people.
Yeah.
Right. And then the psychic ability is linear. Mm-hmm. It lets you see past, present, and future, and past even all the way back into other lifetimes.
Oh, really?
And so when you combine it all together, you're receiving all the messages. And I don't work with lost souls, even though I see them, and I help people with them in their homes and stuff like that.
Right.
But when it comes to the client work and when it comes to like gallery readings and stuff like that, I'm only looking for messages. I'm looking for your guides telling me what you need to know. So that's why I combine them both. I see things from your past, scars, problems you've been through, pains that you've experienced, and then I receive messages, and they come to me like a whole photograph, an old wedding picture. You know the Sicilian wedding pictures, we were just talking about that, the whole family standing in the back like... and they're having a good time. You should see the ones that are upset.
They were not allowed to smile back then.
No, you weren't. God.
And that was a hot picture, by the way. That's supposed to be a hot picture.
Oh, it is. It is. I've got so many of them in my home. I'm like, I got to take them down now and move on. You know, really. Well, I see that behind a person. I see all of their loved ones and guides, and then they slowly creep forward and come up to me because they have to give you a message. They're guiding you for a certain thing. So that's why I combine them both.
And I know a lot of people, my friend Eddie, he's openly gay and he's openly a psychic. He said it was harder for him to come out as a psychic than it was gay because, you know, he was from North Carolina. So for you, when was it that moment where you were like, wow, I didn't know I had this ability?
Well, actually, it didn't come that easily. I was 28 years old, and what happened was I had a really dear friend who was having a hard time in his life, but I knew it internally. No one else knew it because he was the one that put on a great facade, and everything is wonderful and perfect, you know, right? And every time he was saying that, yeah, exactly. Well, I was going in my head, bullshit. It's bullshit. But I didn't know what to say to help him, especially since he wasn't talking about it. So literally, we were visiting him in Connecticut, my wife and I, and we're driving home, and I was in tears. I was crying because I felt, talk about being empathic. I felt so bad for him. I just cried out and asked God, help me. Help him. Help me help him and help people like him because I know he's hurting, but I don't know what to do to help him. And it was within weeks, all of a sudden, the paranormal started. Now, you mentioned that I was a performer. All right. For 35 years, I was a professional actor. At that point, all I cared about was Tony, and I'm not Tony, and Jack Lemmon and Tony Grant and all of those. I wanted a Tony and Oscar and Emmy. That's all I cared about. And now all of a sudden this world opened up to me, and I'm seeing dead people. Psychics are coming to me. I'm reading minds. I'm like, I'm going crazy. My wife didn't know whether to call the local rabbi, the priest to exercise me, or Bellevue to take me away because I just felt nuts.
It's like, go see The Exorcist. Or like,
it
oh
was
my
fun.
God.
I didn't want that. Even today, it's really funny. I'll do a reading and I see some really deep stuff. I mean, stuff that people would never imagine anybody else seeing. And I come up with some wild thing, and they say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you got that." And I'll go, "I did?" Wow. And I get amazed too. I'm like, "Wow, I saw that." I call my wife, "Eileen, you're not going to believe what I just saw. Holy cow." It's just like, yeah, 3 of them. And it's still shocking to me because when I look in the mirror, I still see, Vinny, Goomba Jenna, and I mean, look. This is a radio show. Nobody sees me moving.
Well,
no, you're on camera.
I'm on the camera too. See,
You didn't know that? No, I was kidding.
well, that's why I had my hair done. I knew that. But no, so it was the oddest thing coming to me. But then I knew once it came to me that it must be for a reason.
And I think it's. We always say a gift, but everybody really has the ability.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
it's
right.
just they don't know how to either tap into it. It scares them or whatever.
Right. And what happens now, we got to understand that we are in a time period, we are in a lifetime right now where we need as much help as possible.
Oh my God! I just posted about that.
Did you?
Yesterday.
Right? We knew things are going down drain between the wars and bombing everybody and the storms
and the planes and
the right, exactly. An entire plane just disappears, right?
Kids being blown up.
Right. And we need the help now. So what's happening is the messengers are waking up. So it's not that I'm more special, but apparently I chose to have the gift stronger in this lifetime so I can help wake up other people. Because that is my mission. And gone through the past that I went through, you're talking about the torment that you went through. I totally understand it. Everybody has a story. I went through it. And I did that to become the teacher that I am today. I didn't know I was going to be choosing all of that. I did that before I got here, and I'm really going to smack myself in the head for choosing that road. Next time it's going to be a lot easier.
So much easier. Tell me about it.
So much easier. Yes, really. Wealthy, loving, beautiful parents. I don't care. Feed me with a silver spoon now. I do not care. Beverly Hills right over here down the block. I got that home. But this lifetime it was hard. But you know what? I understand people's pains, and I understand and they understand me. And when they look at me, yeah, I'm funny. I have a lot of experience, and I'm psychic medium. Yeah, wow. So what? I'm still a human, just like everybody else. And when they see that I can do this, they can do it too. That's all I care about, is that they find themselves and love themselves. That's what you were talking about earlier. I loved it.
Well, with 2012, the big hype, 2012, December 21st, 2012. One thing that I've noticed, all these things are happening. And I think we are at a higher conscious, like all of us in this room are at a higher we're observing this more now and now and now. But all the, this has been predicted through Nostradamus and so many things.
Well, it's biblically predicted too. I mean, I just get watching CNN. I'm hooked on CNN. I'm like, just Iran, don't force up with Hamas like right now because we're done. God, just take me now. Like I can't. I have insomnia lately. Like,
but I think the people like us though, even though we may not want to be here, we are supposed to be here to keep those people down at a different level.
But
what you're doing right now is impacting people who are listening to the show, and that is your job. You're luminaries yourself, and giving the opportunity for somebody like myself even to get that message out. So you're absolutely doing what you're supposed to do.
Deirdre too. I mean, like, because when you were I was like, wait a minute, that is so, it's so true. Like, I see all this stuff, lately, and I know it's going to sound weird to them, people that don't really kind of get it, but even my boyfriend, who is like, oh God, here we go. Like, I'm like, I'll call my mom, like, someone's going to die. The day my dad died, I said, he's going to die. And I just said, his girlfriend's going to kill him. He died with his girlfriend. Grandmother, the day she died, I knew it. Wow. Boyfriend died, I knew it. Like, I told my mom the other day someone was going to die, and it was a man. Found out this friend of mine, her father died. Like, I'll call you, and I can tell you, but like, people go, oh, it's just too real. I can't deal with it. But you have to find that, because I feel like they're trying, the universe and God and all these different spirits and stuff.
Right.
They're trying to talk to you, to waken you up
everybody.
to make that
is a
difference that you're
time.
talking
And
about.
you talked about the Mayan calendar. It was actually an absolute prediction of an ending. It was an ending of an old consciousness.
Right.
It was an ending of life. It's an ending of an old consciousness, and you said it perfectly, shifting into a new consciousness, a higher level. So people are seeking out more now. Not religion. They did that before.
Yeah.
Religion didn't give them the answers. Religion made them feel actually bad. They were sinners, that you're an infidel and you have to do all of these things in order to get to the heavens, that this life isn't heaven. And then they went to science to prove all theories of life and evolution, and none of that answered questions. And then they went to politics. I don't know why they did that. I mean, that doesn't ever answer anything, ever.
Didn't they learn from the Romans?
That's right. And now it is a higher consciousness. So I find myself, when I'm getting private readings now, I'm finding myself actually waking up the other messengers. So it's a role that it's a wonderful role. Yes, I'll help the individual, but the large audience and then the specialized group are all those messengers that are meant to do this work, the healers. They want to heal. Matter of fact, one of my lectures tomorrow over at the LAX Hilton is for the healers.
Great.
And the funny thing is, the healers need more healing than the
It's kind of like psychologists.
Yeah, they're psychologists.
I was a psychotherapist too.
Sorry, never mind.
No.
Well, he has a master's in social
That's right,
work.
social work, and a bachelor's in psychology. But you're absolutely right. People were drawn to that because when you can't solve your own problems, it's very easy to solve somebody else's. Right? It makes you feel good. Use your open and control your abilities. You know you have them. I saw that your aura just shines with that. And here's the best thing. You love when you do that. You love, and you always knew you were special. You always stuck out. You never knew how to be quiet, no matter how many times people tried to suppress you. So that's your gift. That's the whole reason why you were here. I used to be sent home from kindergarten with a card that said, Vinny was talking in class again. I went to Catholic school.
Oh, no.
How's your knuckles?
Oh, my God. My knuckles are fine, but you should see my bottom. No, you don't. Never mind. And I had to give that card to my mother. Then she would beat me because she was thoroughly embarrassed. She had some mental illnesses. We were talking.
Right.
You were talking about that, and it was because I was talking. Well, now I get paid for my talking. I stuck out then. And so did you, and you know that. And look at what you're doing now. You're co-hosting, plus you talk about all these things. And so you can just keep jumping into that higher level and keep educating, and you'll be surprised how far you go with that.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, that was a small psychic reading. That'll be $125. The check is out the door. Thank you very much, on the way out.
Well, there's a lot of people that are skeptics. So when I'm sure you get skeptics that come to you. How do you reassure them, or how do you help them open up that mental state of like just to be open about it instead of trying to be so closed?
Well, just what you said is exactly what happens, which is funny. A skeptic coming to a psychic. So, the first thing I say, what are you, Meshuggah? Yeah. I mean, you're not skeptic. You're afraid.
Right. Yeah.
You're afraid. Otherwise, you still wouldn't be sitting over here. I don't care if your wife told you to come. And I always get this. I get this, especially from the guys.
Oh, yeah, when they cross their
arms. The women
arms.
are very open. The guys are like sitting like this.
Waiting
and then
for
what
that.
happens is I tap into this higher stuff, this deep stuff, and I keep saying these things. And they're like this, and they're going, yeah. It's like, whoa, okay, wow, and I'll get those things intentionally to open the door for them. My message is about them. I don't care if I pick up past, present, future. None of that matters as much as what's going to help them. And so I say, listen, I could be full of crap. I can, and I can. I even tell that to my wife now. This could be all bullshit. Everything. We're convincing ourselves. We're brainwashing ourselves. So, but here's the difference. We're happy. We're living a creating life totally fulfilled. Apparently, my words do something, even if they may be bullcrap, who knows? But why would you want to try anything else? Why would you want to be the fool who says, I want to know the truth even if it hurts? Why?
Yeah.
So I tell them.
I like that
I
analogy.
just tell them, I said, look, why do you, skeptic not, it's being fearful. Just keep your mind open. If I'm telling you something that you could use to get yourself a better job, to get yourself a better romance and finance and better health, what the hell? You're still going to be skeptical about it? Okay, so die with some horrible disease and then turn around and say, oh, gee, maybe Vinny was right.
Yeah.
Just try it. That's all I'm saying is try.
Yeah.
It's fear. It's fear, Tony.
Yeah.
People are afraid, but they're not afraid of me.
No, I can tell
They're afraid of
you.
life.
Well, also you have a personality where a lot of psychics are, like I said, they have that look and they try to make you feel like intimidated. But you have a
very
way,
warm,
open,
open,
like welcoming.
like welcoming.
You're making me red.
I know, right?
Keep going. It's barely, no, stop. Really, stop.
Well, what about the people that? How do you handle the ones, or do you just laugh? The ones that they don't like exactly what you've told them because they wanted a whole different story.
Well, they did. I warned them in the beginning. First of all, this is going to be intense. Second of all, I am not telling you anything you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. Where I get the arguments, and this is what's really funny. So I'll have a woman come to me. There's a couple of categories everybody wants to know about: career, finance, health, and relationships, right? So I'll have a woman in front of me, especially I love the New York women, like I said, they're really tough, and they're sitting there and going, okay, I've done everything. I've gone through all of the books. I know how to attract a relationship. I've done spiritual work. I've healed my heart, my inner child, all of this, and I still don't have a boyfriend. When is he going to come? and here, what they pay me for, and a lot of money.
Sorry.
As soon as you want one.
And
they go, but I do want one. I said, no, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yes, I do. I said, you're arguing with a psychic.
Right.
Does that make sense? I'm seeing you don't, because really inside, people don't believe what they think they believe. Right. That is the total
Explain that.
problem.
Explain that again.
All right. We have adult defense mechanisms. You talked about earlier that inner child that's really hurt, okay? That inner child picked up messages of, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not smart enough, I don't deserve anything. Well, that really hurts. And as a child, that was held in what I call the environmental made mind, where all the maladaptive beliefs are.
I agree with that.
Then as you become older, you form your own beliefs. And those beliefs are formed based on what's going to make you feel good and protect you from those negative beliefs, those bad beliefs, right? All right. So now you're walking around, instead of saying, I'm not good, I'm not deserving, turn around and say, my boss is an idiot. That's why I'm not getting a raise. Oh, and my wife, she's so selfish, and he's such a loser. And, oh, if we had a different president, everything would be better. We blame. We pass blame on the outer world because it's easier to do that than to face the inner world. And because it's being created in an adult defense mind, and we know we're supposed to believe in ourselves because we've been told that since the beginning of time, or at least the beginning of Tony Robbins. I think it's around, around the same time period.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We're told we should believe in ourselves. So now your mind plays tricks on you, and it creates a false sense of self-belief. Oh, I believe in myself. When I was going to UNC, the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, that's where I got my undergrad degree in, I studied the self with a very famous professor who had a lot of work published on the self. And I did some of my own experiments and research. And I went around campus and I asked 100 random students, and they range in all ages, you know, from 19 all the way up to adults, right? And I asked them, are you happy? And 90% of them, or 80 to 90% of them, yes, totally happy. And then I would have follow-up questions. Okay, do you have a relationship? Oh, no, man, I just broke up with my girlfriend. Oh, man, that sucked. That was terrible. Holy cow. I said, all right, and how's your financial status right now? Oh, forget it. My parents are making too much money, but not enough to pay for college, and I'm not, you know, qualified for a loan. I don't know how I'm going to pay for next semester. Great. How's your health? I got such stomach cramps. It's unbelievable. I'm trying. I said, okay, time out. Then I go back and I ask them again. Okay, I'm going to ask you again. Are you happy? And they look at me and they go, you know what, I guess I'm not. I said, okay, you know what? You have a better chance of becoming happy just because you just admitted that. We will cover up, and over enhance our lives and feelings because that feels better than what we really think about ourselves. But as a psychotherapist, I had the hardest time bringing people to that level because that's where they think they're going to be stopped. I really am a piece of crap. And they don't want to get to that level, so they don't do the work. When they don't understand, no, that's the false level.
Yeah.
That
Everything's
was
fine,
yes.
fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
That's it, yes. It's beneath
Fine.
that.
Fine. Fucking fine.
Fine.
Like, and you're like, all right.
I love the way you say that. You're such a passionate person, Jennifer. You really are. No, seriously, I'm telling you, you are
I know
passionate.
I am things.
This is great. So that's what
Stop.
it's
No,
about.
really.
No, really.
Getting you back.
People don't believe. They walk around. They think that they want the job that they're going through Monday through Friday, but they're really not liking it, can't stand it. They don't feel valued, but they're trying to convince themselves, yes, I am. Or people who are out of work and they're sending out resumes. I can't get a job, the financial situation here, and it's such an employment crisis. Like, no, that's not the reason why you can't get the job. You can't get a job because you don't want anything that you're applying for. And it takes me a while to get them there to finally admit, you're right. That's
where the second chance comes in.
That's it. You're right. You said that. The universe, actually, you give yourself, because you're the universe, you give yourself a second chance when you finally recognize what's stopping you. And then you go after your dreams. We're not here to experience somebody else's life. We're here to experience our own. And the way you do that is with your dreams, through your dreams.
So true. I have a question to ask you. I love that. That was really, I know, I was like ready. I could hear like a stadium,
Praise.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
That was a great answer.
And you said Joel Osteen. I love it. Praise the Lord. Give me 85,000 people to speak in front of. I love that. Oh,
Give
my
me
gosh.
$85 million he makes a year.
Really? Well, what's your question?
So you were talking about people are broken. We were talking. Wait, shit! I just had a brain fart. It was about people mask it, and it'll hit me again.
The defense mechanisms.
Yeah, but okay. If we're Power of Now and a lot of doctors, all these, we are not defined by our past, right? But most people carry their past as their inner child is working. And yet, so how do people, and I know this, like, because you're talking to me about my past and this and that, and like, I give out what I want because I'll tell you a lot. I'll tell you, I'm open with it to a degree. But I make people believe, and I'll talk about things, and then I'm like, oh, wow. I mean, to me, it's great therapy. I get to talk about it. Like, I don't care. I mean, I love it. But then people go, oh, you're so, it's because you were wounded in the scars. That's what it was, the scars. But if I'm not defined by my past, how did the scar, then why, how do people move past that? Because that's the big one I've been working with people.
That is a great question. Really great and very enlightening. And you also spoke to why I'm different than most of the other psychics or spiritual teachers. I'm the next generation. All of those, Eckhart Tolle, who wrote The Power of Now, the Wayne Dyers, the Louise Hay, they were to take us from that science and religious modality into the new age, new thought modality, and start opening people up. But we're beyond that now. And we need to fine-tune it. That's my job. It's not that you're defined by your past. Your past defines you. That is completely different. And when we recognize that I'm not acting right now based on my current today, Vincent, if I'm not paying attention, what I'm defined by is the scarred little Vinny. You've taken care of your issues. You've taken care of your issues. We all have. We're here. We're not out there on the street there, homeless, shooting people, and doing drugs like that. So we've taken care of our issues. But every injury causes a scar. We have to pay attention to the scars. And maybe we set the scars up for us as dangling carrots to motivate us to constantly move forward. Because we don't believe, as individuals, unfortunately, that we would do things on our own. Think about the way we're treated. Think about the way religions, the government's always protecting us. Your parents, they need to tell you what to do because you don't know what to do on your own.
I believe that ignorance is bliss, and it gets me so irate that people live like that. I'm going to tell you this right now. There's 5 people I know that are watching this show right now without naming their names, and that they go, I just can't deal with that, or I can't, I couldn't do this because my husband doesn't want me to, address it. How do you break that stigma? Because I feel like, sometimes I feel like I'm a warrior going on this world, and now we're all united together. So how do we help those who are listening to get to that next place where you can face yourself. And it's okay. Being flawed is beautiful. I mean, there is nothing.
Well,
I mean,
I know, but what you're talking about as flaws are all opportunities. There's
exactly.
nothing
That's
wrong
what's
with
so
us.
beautiful.
Even
So how do you break?
Yes, the biggest
What would you
dirtbag.
encourage them?
Well, first of all, they have to understand that what you see, I forgot which one of you said it earlier, what you see in your life standing in front of you, including the spouse who is controlling or intimidating and dominating and abusive, or your bad boss, or your illnesses, you created 100% consciously or subconsciously. You did that. And you did that because your scars from the past as a little kid are telling you, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable. But the adult's saying, oh, but I want a relationship, I want a family, I want this, and I can do good. But that's not what's sending out and controlling the energy. That God force is literally just like in Star Wars, the Force. It's part of everyone, and
like that.
you must guide it or direct it. And if you direct it with fears, you can flip to the dark side. And if you direct it with love and positiveness, you maintain control and you create the life you want. So for those people, number one, they have to start believing that they're in control of their lives. All of those people feel like victims. So those, you said 5 people are listening?
I'd say 5. Yeah,
5?
I'd say 5.
Okay,
I can,
all 5 of Jennifer's people, listen to me right now. You are in control of your life. Stop blaming. You are not a victim. Even if the person in front of you is telling you what to do and stopping you, you're doing that to yourself, and it's externalizing in your outer world. All the abuse you go through is what you're put. You said before, you're your worst enemy. This is why. Because what you do to yourself will manifest in your outer world. Yep. All of that abuse, all of that neglect. So once you start recognizing
Amen on that.
yeah, absolutely. Give me a 5. All right, great. And all of that is you recognize this first step. All doubts, all fears, everything you must realize is coming from your scar, your inner child, that person who's been hurt. That's to start. Then you said, I believe it was you, Tony, you have to reparent yourself. If a child come running to you, even if you don't have kids, and the little kid says, nobody likes me anymore. They made fun of me at school. The teacher corrected me. I'm so stupid. I'm not going to amount to anything, because that's what kids do. All right? You would never let that kid, you wouldn't turn around and go, yeah, kid, and then life sucks and you die, too. So wait until you get old. You wouldn't do that. What would you do? Your compassion would have you scoop that child up, hug them and say, no, honey, you're wrong. The kids are only teasing you because they're going through hard times, and so you made a mistake. You'll do better tomorrow. But we've never, ever done that to the little kid, because even the parents that we had didn't have a chance to do that because they were going through their own problems. And my mother was not nurturing. My father was not nurturing. But as a kid, I didn't understand. Well, yeah, mom has psychological problems. I understand that. I'm great, but she doesn't realize that. No, I was, assessing myself based on how I was treated. And that's how I began to treat myself when I was older. So the third thing you must do is tell your inner child. That's why you can't leave your past. You have to take it with you. Your body, mind, and spirit. Going without your past is like saying, I'll cut off my arm. Even though I have a full body, I'm going to intentionally cut off my arm and leave it alone, because I really don't like, my ring fingers are so swollen I can't get I don't like my right arm anymore, and leave it behind and go through life with one less arm, even though you could have had it all. That's what it's like, just leaving your childhood behind. Yeah, you can suffer through it. You can try to get through, but taking all of you with you is your greatest gift. Why would you want to? Just the mere fact alone you want to forget your past, you're telling your little kid, and
rejecting it,
you're rejecting your little kid. You said that before yourself, right? You said, sometimes I just want to tell him, get the hell out of here. I understand. I want little Vinny to shut. You hear me? Yeah. You should hear little Vinny. I'm doing all the talking. You should hear him. No wonder why I was beat when I was a kid. I wouldn't shut up. And he talks loud now. But the difference between me and most people, they don't hear their little kid talking. It comes in the way of that boss, that wife, that that person over here and they get mad at everybody else, but it really is their little kid telling them that I hear little Vinny, so I can quiet him. So that's a full big answer for how you do it.
No, and I love
Be on
that.
top of
And
it.
I absolutely love that. I mean, I think
I love that you love that.
I love that you love that I love that.
No, really. My wife is in the green room.
Oh,
Hi, honey.
I love her too. I love that
How
she
are
loves
you?
it. I love that you love that.
You love it. We all love it.
You just said something. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's too real." Wait, you were saying, "Shit, I keep hating these brain farts."
Yeah, I do say I keep getting brain farts. 'Cause
No.
I do
You
say I do.
you were saying, it'll come to me. It was about. Because I'm saying I wanted to say this because of people who are listening, and I mean I love everything you're saying. It's like you're feeding my brain the nourishment it needs, and I think that today, because of that fifth realm that we're now in, is it's the fifth dimension now, right?
Well, yeah, there's the fifth and the sixth dimension.
But we were in the fourth, now we were in the fifth dimension.
We're rising to a higher level. Yeah.
That's, I think a lot of times that's what's missing is feeding the brain, and you're feeding the brain, the mind and the spirit at the same
the reason
time.
why
That's
you're
not what I
doing
wanted to
that
say, but
is
I'm
to
saying.
wake up, because I'm not giving you new information. We're not here to learn. We're here to remember.
Ooh,
Because
I like
when we were created, that God force created us. Deepak Chopra said this wonderfully on one of Oprah's last shows. He said, God did not create the universe in us. God became the universe in us. So everything it is, all its knowledge, all its wisdom is us. The story of the Garden of Eden and the Tree of Knowledge, that they're all metaphysical stories in the Bible. That story is, we started to understand, in the beginning we were kids with all this knowledge, but we didn't know what we knew. And a little at a time, our intuition, which is represented by Eve, our divine feminine, our right brain intuition is represented by Eve in the Bible. Okay? That's not a physical being. It's a spiritual being. It's your spiritual part. That intuition began to understand, you know what? I'm pulling these things out of my ass. I have no idea why I just called that a rabbit. I don't. Why do I know that this is a tree? And we're thinking when she's going, oh my gosh, you know what? I wonder how much more I know. And the intuition went digging and digging and digging, and it opened up a bag of knowledge way before we were capable of dealing with it. Now we were dealing with the concept of anger and sorrow and guilt and fear and humility and deprivation and love and sorrow and grief, and it's like all at once, and it destroyed our Garden of Eden because we didn't know how to handle it all. We were supposed to get a piece of that a little at a time. Well, we intentionally wiped that all from our memories and started all over again. And that's why we created the chakra system. The chakra system are your 7 spiritual centers, and the idea is once we get them all in alignment and the energy is totally working, we will now remember who we are, and we will have use of our total power. So what you're doing, I'm not saying anything new. That's why it's so, your eyes are so, I see your soul. Your soul is like, oh my God, keep telling me that, because I love what I'm hearing. I love what I'm hearing because it's already inside of you. I'm not feeding you anything. I'm waking up what's already in you, and that's why you love it so much, because you're remembering. And when you remember, you feel powerful. You feel, I can conquer the world. I want to leave right now. Tony, that's it. The show is over. Let's go outside. You feel like Superman. You feel like, Spider-Man. You can swing from anywhere. But it is
Wonder Woman, excuse me.
Oh,
very chauvinistic in here.
Sorry. Okay, Wonder Woman. Yes, you are. Definitely Wonder Woman. And it's just a waking up. It really is a waking up. The world is sleeping.
Right.
And it needs a you. It needs a Tony Sweet. It needs you, Jennifer. It needs you, Deidre. It needs everybody who already understands this, because you're now a light. And you're walking in the world of darkness. And you will automatically, I know people come up to you all the time, especially you. They cry on your shoulder just naturally, because you have that light that says, come, I'll help you. You just don't know you're doing that, but you are.
It's funny, when I was a little girl, when I was 14 years old, I was modeling. I got discovered really young, and I was in Paris with my mom, and this gypsy came. We were walking through this one place, and she grabbed me, and I felt her. I mean, obviously I felt her, but like it was a weird feeling I didn't understand. And she, speaking in Portuguese, my mom happens to speak Portuguese, understand it, and she was like, you have a light, you have the gift, you have the spiritual gift, you're spiritually in tune. And I was like, huh, what? throughout the years, the spiritual healers I've seen and stuff, they were like, you have this spiritual healing, you know, this and that. Then through, you know, all the things I was doing, it's true. I mean, since I was a little girl, I understood it.
Hey, same thing happened to me.
That hit me. Okay. So you were talking about, you know, and you didn't have that nourishment and love as a child. But what I think a lot of people, they probably related to exactly what you're saying there. I mean, everyone feels that. That's right. But what you have and what I have and what we all have is someone may have not been loved by their mother or their father immensely, but they were loved by somebody. And because you're very affectionate, passionate. I mean, I could feel all these things that you are and the way you are. I mean, you're like, you wear your emotions on your sleeves. Therefore, you had that love. Like for so long walked around the world in my world going, oh, I was never loved as I was adored. I was loved. I was never without people that didn't kiss me and hug me in the right way and give me that nourishment. And yes, mom and dad were going through the things, but they adored me. Grandparents, thank God for them. Like, you know, right, I was, exactly. But we do have that, you know, because a lot of people, I really feel it really felt what you said when you were talking about that. And then they're like, see, that's why I'm like that. And then they shut down their brain.
Right. We each of us have a residual, a resistance, a strength within us that we're unaware of. And actually, nobody is here alone. Right. We have so many, like right now, this room is filled with heavenly spirits, and we call them heavenly. That's just a word that we use. It's in the other dimension, in the higher dimension, that are just surrounding us. They love what we talk about. It's what Jesus meant when he said, when two or more gather in my name, that's where I'll be. What he was trying to say is you just bring up the power of the God force just by talking about it, by feeling loved. So we had it walking with us. And yes, when I was being beaten up, while I was being teased, while I was being hit by mom and dad, and I was hearing in my head, they're wrong. They're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Don't listen to them. You're great. And also, thank goodness I had a talent when I was young. It really helped me. I mean, there were times that I wanted to commit suicide. As a matter of fact, it's really funny. I'm here in L.A., and one of my dearest friends that I grew up with in school,
Michael Douglas, because you look just like him.
Do I really?
You do look like him. Now that you say that.
I'm sorry.
Michael Douglas. I don't mind. Michael
you channel a couple different people, though. George
Clooney.
No. Yeah, George Hamilton.
Yeah.
George Hamilton.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. I love that. Yeah, definitely. Brad Pitt. Great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But I was able to sing, act, and dance at a very young age. And what saved me is going out on stage. Because you got to remember, as a little kid, you're not paying attention to the love you're receiving. Because when I think back, I remember all these adults, mom's friends. They adored me. My relatives adored me because I was so outgoing. But that's not what I was remembering. What affected me is mom picking on me, dad picking on me. Because we're little kids and we're supposed to be just loved. Guidance is completely different than picking on and reprimanding, and it's to help the child come out and nourish the child, right? I'd never felt that nurturing or type of feeling from mom and dad. But the singing and acting, I would go out on stage and they would applaud me. And I was like, they love me. That's what I translated to love. And actually, that is the whole reason why acting became my passion and why until I was 28 years old, I wanted to be a professional actor and a star because I was going to get all of that love. And it even made a difference I went to my high school reunion, 10-year high school reunion in 1983. Well, 5 years earlier, see, I got it right, honey. 5 years earlier, the movie Grease was released. I was a singer and dancer in that movie.
Oh, good.
Yes, I can do hand jive, but if you ask me now, I'll have a heart attack. Please. And there was such hype in my town because I was, I come from a small town, and even though I wasn't a star in the movie, I was just, in a famous movie, an overnight sensation, right? And so here I go to my 10-year reunion, and I had a chip on my shoulder. I was going because all those kids were not expecting me to go. And I was already married for 5 years to my childhood sweetheart in there. We've been married 36 years
wow.
this year.
Wait a minute.
Yay! That is beautiful. does exist.
That's a lovely.
It does exist. We've been together 41 years,
Wow.
and she is my business manager now. She comes with me everywhere. The world loves her, and so I send her in the room first, so that way everybody loves her. Then I come in, and so she cushions the room. And so what happened is I go to my reunion, and when I was expecting that, I didn't think they would tease me, but they were really shocked I was there. Well, they overwhelmed me with love and begging of forgiveness.
Oh, that's
because
nice.
they never realized who I was, and the girls surrounded me all like it was like a Cinderella story. And the kid who caused most of my antagonism, he was the star football player.
Oh, I
Right?
love hearing these stories.
Right. He never touched me, but he would instigate all his
somebody
jock
else to do
buddies
it.
to pick on me. So they would shove me in the lockers. You know Glee, when you see Glee and you see, what's his name, getting all picked on because he was gay? Well, they never thought I was gay, but they called me femme because I was gentle. Mom dressed me until I was 17 years old, combed my hair so I was pristine because she had obsessive compulsive disorder. So I was pristine. They would pick on me. So all now this jock comes running up to me, gives me a bear hug at our reunion, and he wouldn't let me go, yells my name, and he was by me most of the night. And he kept bringing his friends over. Says, this is Vinny. Come on, guys. Look at how great Vinny is. He's so wonderful. Then we went out afterwards. When the affair was over, we went out. We ate until 6 o'clock in the morning laughing. So he was the friend. The guy who caused most of my antagonism became my dear friend, who was the reason why I had my spiritual awakening. He was the guy who was hurting that
my gosh,
I
that's
wanted
Talk
to
about
help.
divine.
Intervention.
Totally.
It
He
comes in full-
follows me now everywhere. He now teaches around in his own area
What?
of love and spirituality. It's just amazing.
Well, time is getting away from us, and I want to make sure
You're amazing.
Yeah, you are amazing, and people are loving you. And I want to make sure we talk about the workshops. That the one reason you're here is tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
So tell us about the workshop again. It's going to be at the Hilton.
No, that's the second one. The
that's the
first
second one. Okay.
is at Westside Unity Church in Culver City.
Unity. Yeah, I like Unity.
From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's Become Unstoppable, and the real title is Stop Stopping Yourself and Become Unstoppable. And we're going to work real hard on teaching people how to get to that core like your friends can. You can come. If you come, you'll get firsthand teaching on how to do this, and also going to do some gallery readings for people.
Oh, great.
And then from 4 to 6, I run over to the LAX Hilton downtown.
Yeah, there we go.
And there's a healing conference that's going on, and I'm going to be the last speaker from 4 to 6, and we're going to do some healing work there. So that's what's happening just on Saturday alone.
Wow.
Well, the one thing I love about what you do, because like I said, I've interviewed a lot of psychics, and Eddie, you remind me of Eddie, because psychics, you don't just predict, you don't just see, but you educate.
Oh, Ralph.
And
Great.
there's so many that just they'll tell you what you want to hear or what you need to hear, but they don't educate. And you're really empowering of just talking to Jen and us and Deidre here, and our listeners. But you're very encouraging, and I think that's a rarity in a lot of the psychics that I've interviewed.
And I'll take that on. I appreciate that. I feel very blessed that I'm able to do that. But I know that is 59 years I worked on this.
59? You look good.
With 3 grandchildren. Thank you.
Three grandchildren?
3 grandchildren, yes.
Good
Lila,
for
Noah,
you.
and Caleb. Love you guys. Miss you.
No.
Wait, wasn't that corny?
Well, if you brought pictures out, then you're like, no.
Oh, you want to see it? But thank you so much, because I feel my greatest gift is seeing your greatest gifts. And if you can see yourself through my eyes momentarily, so you can see how magnificent you are and what I see, it just takes one person to believe in you. That's why that woman in there has been with me for 41 years, because she is the first person to believe in me that opened everything up for me. And you can do the same thing. You're doing that now. You're doing that now. When you just believe, it takes one man or one woman to save a nation.
Why are you looking at me when it says, because woman? Yeah,
because you're a woman. Because before you corrected me about being Superwoman instead of Spider-Man, so I just wanted to make sure I got it right this time, Jennifer.
Don't want to get in trouble again.
No, not again.
But yeah, this is going to be great, and I hope everybody that's here locally that can go, make sure they
come
go.
on down.
Can they go online and get tickets?
They can. If they go to my website, www.vincentgenna, and that's with a G, Vincent,
That's right.
Genna, Oh, it's
here.
there?
It's
Oh,
right
it's
below you.
Right there. There we go. And I'm psychic. I should have known that. I didn't. Right on the front page there's a way to register, or you can just come right to the door. So there's only a few seats left. So I would just say either register now because it's selling out. It's a wonderful venue, too. It's so beautiful over there.
Oh,
or
yeah.
come to the Hilton. That'll be a lot
I love
of fun,
the Hilton.
too.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
where
isn't
they
that
have
great?
Conscious
The Conscious Life. I'm going
Yeah.
to be here. And then next
Are you
year
gonna
I'm going
be-
to be here. I'm going to be one of the
Yay.
speakers.
When is Conscious Life?
February, the first weekend of February.
I want to go.
First, the second,
Yeah.
second, third. It is amazing.
Well, I do
It's
once a month. I
amazing.
do a show. It's called Truth Be Told, and it's all about can geek from UFO to conspiracy to psychic or whatever paranormal, and actually Conscious Life sponsors that. And
Oh,
so
how fabulous.
yeah.
That is great. Oh, I would
Yeah.
love to talk to you about that because then we can talk about your alien visitations and abductions, Tony.
Let's do it.
Look
I
at
would
him.
love
His
to.
eye just
I love
popped
that
out.
stuff.
I have an aliens guide, and I know about the planets and stuff like that. I see them, and,
Yeah.
and I help my friends with them when they do
I
have
love
experience.
that. I
yeah.
have Gary David, who is a Hopi Nation,
Wow.
What's
expert.
a Hopi?
Hope the Indian, Native American.
Okay.
Yes, it's
And
one
then
of the tribes.
I have Clifford Mahooty. He's a Zuni elder, which is also another Native American. We're going to talk about star people
Wow,
and
that's
Gimenez and
fabulous.
stuff. Yeah, next
Fabulous.
Friday. I would love to have you on that show if you would love to. We can
Oh
call
man,
in
let's
from
talk about
wherever
it. Yeah.
you're at.
Oh, absolutely. I can call in from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, and then
I
you
say
can talk.
y'all.
Do you say y'all?
Oh, I do. I'm a native Southerner, so I lost all my New York accent. Y'all.
Well, we thank you so much for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much,
and what
Tony,
we're going
for
to do
having
is
me.
we're going to
Jennifer
take a
Deacon.
You're
quick
amazing.
break, and
So
when
are
we
you,
come back,
Tony,
we'll
and
say
so are
our
you,
good-
Deirdre.
You
Yeah,
guys are
you're
all
Thank
amazing.
you for letting me share your light. Thank you.
But thank you, Vincent, so much. And it's Jenna, not Genna.
That's okay. I don't care.
Because I messed up earlier. But that's
No,
my
you didn't mess
accent
up.
from Kansas.
It's okay. He used to call me Gimenez, and it's Jimenez.
Well,
Oh, no,
when you
Hammond
With a
is-
G, though, yeah.
That's right. It's with the G.
Gimenez.
Yeah.
But I was from Kansas. We don't go he when it says a
Menace.
G.
No, right? No, it's G.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't say henna.
No, right? You don't. That's right. Oh no, I did. We did. My wife and I were when we were first starting out. We were really young, and we were here in California, and we went to apply for food stamps.
Oh,
'cause we
really?
were financially bad, and right away because of all the Hispanic population that unfortunately that the lowest socioeconomic backgrounds there, they immediately assume they go Vincent Hanna, that Vincent Hanna here, and I'm
You're like looking around like
looking
no.
around. No.
No. Well, actually, it's the time is gone, and we actually have to get off the air. But Jennifer, thank you so much. You're going to come back again.
I would love to. I'd
know I
love to
miss
come
you.
in like a month. I'm in Florida. I'm only in
Whenever
Florida
you're
for
here,
8
just let
days.
me know. I love my Jennifer. How do people find you? Social media and all that good stuff.
Twitter, Facebook fan page, all Jennifer Jimenez. Instagram, I guess
Great
that one's
branding.
too. Jennifer Jimenez, Instagram. Yeah, Jimenez with the G, Gimenez. And website, which I don't really work on lately, so it's jenjimenez.com.
There you go. And Deidre?
You can contact me, Deidre Jordan. That's on Twitter and Facebook, Deidre Jordan Harris. And let's talk about a show on Sundays from 6 to 7 with my lovely co-host. Check us out.
And you can go to vincentgenna.com, and you can go on Twitter at VGBelieve. I love that.
Yeah, I like
Thank
that
you.
one. I like
love
that.
Right,
So-
it's all about believing yourself.
It is. All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make
Thanks, you
sure you
guys.
stick around for Kindred Spirits right after this with John and Chandra. We love you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This has been On Air with Tony Sweet. Don't worry, there's more online. Search On Air with Tony Sweet on iTunes for past shows and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. On Air with Tony Sweet every Wednesday and Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on ubnradio.com.